Okay, looking back, there's my truck in the little gun range, and I'm going to pan around. We're still not quite on the property yet, but we're very close. This is the old Louisville and Nashville railroad bed, which is now abandoned. I think the state of Georgia has control over it. But my property line goes down to the middle of that, and this property line for the piece that's for sale abuts mine. I think maybe you can barely see a piece of pink tape down there about 100 feet. And that marks the edge of our Scots Glen property, that 6 acres for sale. And panning over just a little bit, this is Young Cane Creek. As you can see, we're at the headwaters, so it's not a huge creek, but that flows across the 6-acre parcel as well. I'm just going to walk on around the road. And you can see my real estate sign there with the pink ribbon beside it. That begins the property. Over here is a little access road that goes up to an old hunting camp. They had a small house out there, no electricity or anything, but I don't think anybody's used it in years. But this little road is not actually on the property. If I were going to develop this piece, I would probably cut a road in about right here, just across the property line, and have it wind up to the top of the hill, and build a house on top of the hill. Let's walk on down. As you can see, the slope is not real steep on this end over here. This section is raised up above the creek, so it would be possible to put a house back in here closer to the creek. Lots of nice hardwoods in here. A few pines, not many. The lower section, just beside the road here, gets a little steeper down at this end. There's a knoll right there, but after you go up about maybe 100 feet, then it begins to get a little bit more gentle, and towards the top it's almost level. And when you look at the plat, of course we're walking down Scots Glen Road, and as you look at the plat, to the left is where the creek is. We're probably 100 feet from the creek. And across the creek is the old railroad bed, the LN railroad bed. So look for that on the plat. And we're coming up on the other end of the property. There is Pink tape on that tree. Standing up on top here, I can look down into where the creek is and see it flowing from here. And pink tape going up the side of the hill there. And a little further down is what I believe was probably at one time an old home site. There's some beautiful old red cedars down here. And a little bit of a clearing. So I suspect at one time there was a home site down here. And at the far end, off of this property, is another access road going up the side of the hill. And that just goes back to other people's property on that end. And that's the lower part of the property on Scots Glen.